Welcome everyone to New York Muscle Radio Special Edition After Hours Live Radio. This is your co-host Big Pete Kacharian, and if you've missed this episode, this is a replay of the live first episode of After Hours with New York Muscle Radio. This episode was recorded live on Facebook, but the audio was ripped for anybody who happened to miss the live feed, so you can listen to it right now, right after this. But before we get to that, Anthony's 30th birthday is actually next week, so I want to make sure all of you wish Anthony a happy 30th birthday. And in addition, as a thank you to our loyal listeners, we want to offer you a special sale with 30% off the entire store. 30% off for Anthony's 30th birthday. To redeem this discount, all you have to do is in the checkout, type in coupon code DIRTY30. That's right, Dirty30 for Anthony's 30th birthday. Thank you all again for your continued support. We appreciate it all. For now, let's get to After Hours Live Episode 1.
New York's very own muscle building coaches, Anthony Bevilacqua and Pete Kacharian, proudly present to you New York Muscle Radio.
What's up, New York Muscle Radio people, Facebook people, and YouTube people? This is the New York Muscle Radio After Hours Show. So if you're a new listener, welcome. You just stumbled upon this. We're actually trying this out. I don't know how well this is going to actually work, but this is a live Facebook thing that we're actually doing right now. Pete, you there?
Yeah, man. I think it's going smoothly after we tried a few times. I think we got it right.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens here. So hopefully we got 12 people in here. I could see people's comments. So, guys, you can hop on in and say hello. But if you're a new listener, welcome. This is the best muscle building and fat burning. This is the After Hours show. This is where we go completely off cuff, completely off topic, and just do whatever we do. This is what we do. So, guys, for any of you listening right now, head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked to get our free 12-week program. And, yeah, you get a free 12-week program just for coming on this. So, again, head on over there now and do that now. Big Pete, what's up, man? Got a bug in here. What's going on?
Man, I'm trying to figure this out right now because I don't think I get to see the comments in here. So anybody who's joining in right now, comment because I want to see if it pops up on my end because I want to interact with you guys too.
Yeah, I have no idea. I can comment, but I can't. For some reason, oh, here we go, show. Let's see. Oh, well, that's not from anybody, but I guess that's what it says. Hide. So I guess the comments, if anybody has any comment, just comment something in here. We can test if this thing actually works. Oh, yes. Someone wrote hi.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm seeing them.
I'll show you. See it?
Awesome. There we go. I like that.
Hey, look, Yuri. What's up, Yuri?
Shout out to Yuri. Shout out to Tony.
Big Tony. Look at that guy right there. All right, so we're good, man. Everything works. This is cool. So look,
awesome,
now, whenever Pete goes on his rants, I could do this. No more
Why
Pete
did you
Kacharian.
Huh?
Or if he's talking, I could do that.
I can't even see what he's doing right now. So
you
anybody who sees this, I can't see anything.
And on your end, you could see it.
No, I just see you, and I see me in the corner over here. But all right, whatever. Anthony's in control tonight. So guys,
what's up, Tony?
Any way he wants it to go, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, guys. So again, head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked, JAKKED, for a free 12-week program. Guys, make sure you head on over there and check that out. So yeah, this is the After Hours show. This is basically where we're going to be doing the rest of the stuff that we normally do on the podcast. We're changing it up now, and we're going to make it so that it's this is the off-cuff podcast here, I guess. So yeah, man. So the episode we released today was on shaving, tanning, manscaping, and all that other good stuff. I didn't know you were such a shaving expert, man.
Hey man, it's a necessary evil, or for some people it's not an evil, as far as bodybuilding contest prep, photo shoot prep, and all that stuff. So if you want to be a complete bodybuilder and you got to understand these things, and that's part of it. You know, some people don't like that, but again, it's part of the process.
Can you believe we're up to episode 175?
Yeah, I know. It was funny because we waited so long to get to 100, and we thought it was going to take long, but it just kind of blew by really fast, and now we're hitting 200 soon. And, you know, we always talk about it every time we get to 100, 150. We got to do something special. I guess we got to do something special for, 200.
I know, 175. We definitely have done over 200 podcasts between the Bikini and Barbell show and other things that we've done. We've definitely done way over 200. But I kind of like this, man, because, look, now we get people John, he's making fun of us. Only stuff you can talk about on the after hours, apparently. So he wants us to get into some
juicy stuff.
Yeah, he wants some juicy stuff, man.
I
Yeah,
want to know. I want to know what
shaving this
he's
weekend.
doing after hours tonight. Maybe we'll chime in on his after hours. I guess his after hours listening to us right now.
Yeah. Listen, that's the best way to spend your after hours, right? So, man, listen, I forgot to tell you, my meet is June 4th. I mean, I didn't forget to tell you, but I'm actually competing in the morning for once. You know, normally I have to compete in the afternoon, so I end up going fasted the whole way through. So I have to be there at 7, so that means you got to get up at 5 a.m. I got to leave my house at 5 a.m. So it should be fun, man. I'm just excited to actually be able to eat around 9 o'clock instead of, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, it'd be nice to finish the day at a normal time too, because I think the last meet we got there, whatever it was, we got there at 7 o'clock and we left at like 7 p.m. and we were there for like 12 hours. It was a long day.
Yeah, that was a long day. And guys, I want to apologize for those of you that could see us. If you look this way, I'm redoing my kitchen, so I got a whole bunch of crap behind me. So I apologize for the ugly background.
Yeah, you got a microwave oven behind you right there. All I see is microwave oven, Samsung. Plug for Samsung.
Yeah, plug. And the turtle tank. See the turtle tank?
Yeah.
Here's Marcy. She says, hold on, I'll show it. I love this. This is actually a really cool feature that I could show this. So Marcy commented, I love those weekly emails. You guys saying it like it always is. They definitely keep my butt in check. So you're welcome. And for anyone who wants to get on that mailing list, just head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked and you'll get those programs in, man. Man, look at this. I really do have a little scruff. You were right based on the podcast. Look at that.
No, I predicted it would grow in by today.
Nah, you said I have a little bit, and I was like, no, I don't, but I do. Look at that. I don't know. All right, man. So let's talk about our competitors this weekend. We had a couple of people compete this weekend. We had Brenda, so shout out to her for competing this weekend. We had Victor. He competed, came in 5th in his men's physique show, so congratulations to him. And we have our other client, Mitch, competing this weekend. So it's the competition season, man.
Yeah, good couple of weeks for everybody, and it's always exciting to see the hard work, play out on stage. And what is John saying? See, I'm getting too distracted over here.
No, don't look at the comments. I'll flash them.
They pop up on my screen, but as I was saying, it's exciting to see everyone, finally get to show off their hard work, and we got a lot of really hungry competitors working with us, and it's nice to see it pay off. And it's funny because we get so many all different divisions. Everything's going on all at once, so it's exciting right now.
All right, man. So again, off the cuff here, shout out challenge. Say my name.
We just call you Raj. We just call you Raj.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If any of the listeners want to chime in and say, try to spell his name, say his name, spell it phonetically, we'll take that and we'll announce it on the podcast. But yeah, Raj sounds like it works.
Yeah, man. Sorry to cut you off. For anybody who's here and chatting right now, if you guys, we always do listener questions. If you want to do live listener questions, you could do that as well. So you don't have to wait till we get it on the podcast. If you have any, just ask them.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's a competition season, so are you kind of getting the itch to compete again, man? I know you've been kind of mentioning it, and now we have all our clients competing the next couple of weekends coming up. So
yes, I am. Really more to give my training more purpose, because whenever I go in extended long off seasons, I always say, okay, I'm going to take a year or 2 years off to grow or to do whatever, to get stronger, or whatever it is, time away from dieting. A lot of times, you start that with an open mind, and then the deeper you get into it, you kind of drift away. You may say, all right, maybe I'll compete in a year, maybe I'll take 2 years off, but sometimes you kind of just get in this comfort zone where you're just in the off season, you're not really thinking about competing, and you just kind of let things go the way they go. And eventually you get to a point where, you start to think, okay, I either have to decide if I'm going to get back on stage soon, if I'm going to compete soon, or if I'm just going to keep taking an off season. And I'm kind of at that crossroad right now, I guess, where I'm like, all right, I had a very productive 2 years off, and, it might be time for me to get back on stage. I think I put on the size that I wanted to, and, it would be a productive time to start my diet soon.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's about time that I conquer the powerlifting world and you conquer the physique world and just show everyone what New York Muscle Radio is made of. But we actually got a question here, so you want to take it?
All right.
Okay. Oh, you can't read it, obviously.
No, I
All right,
see it now. You just popped up on the screen. So this is from Frankie. It says, if you had to choose 5 resources / people to learn more about training and nutrition for natural bodybuilding, who would it be? That's a great question. That actually is. I have to think about that one for a minute.
Well,
you have any people that come off the top of your head?
Yeah, I got 2. So Anthony Bevilacqua, Pete Kacharian.
Number 1,
those are
number
the top 2.
Yeah.
And I would say Lane Norton is definitely another good one to follow. If you need motivation, Skip LaCour. He's definitely the motivational guy. So that's 4.
Yeah.
And Matt Gary. Definitely Matt Gary, man.
Yeah. I want to throw one more in there, too. Eric Helms, because he was probably one of my favorite guests we had on this podcast. Because he came on twice, actually. And I love the way he could break it down for the average person. You know, he knows science, he understands it, but he also understands the average person. So he's definitely.
All right, so let's put it in order. So Anthony Bevilacqua, Pete Kacharian, Eric Helms, Lane Norton, Matt Gary, Skip LaCour. That's 6. But those are definitely the top 6.
That's solid. That's solid. Yeah.
And Joey Estremo says, Pete, you're way too lazy. Stop. So
what is he saying? I'm lazy about that. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, what else is new?
Joe's just mad because I get to skip Wednesdays, which is leg day. And so I'm lazy for that. But anyway, tomorrow is leg day, and I don't think I'm going to make it, man. I'm going to have to just train arms tomorrow.
Yeah, well, why don't you explain what happened today, man?
Oh, man. Well, today is one of 3 days in the last 2 weeks, actually, that I ended up suffering a mild injury. The 3rd time in a row in the last 2 weeks, actually. So I started squatting again. I took some time off from squatting last week. Started really light, 2 plates, 225. Ended up tweaking my back on the 3rd set. It was a little painful, but I was all right. And then the following week, I did legs again the following Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it was. And same thing happened on the last set. Today, tried to do some stiff legs again. And I think I tweaked it pretty bad, actually. And your assessment was that my hamstrings were just extremely tight. And what I'm thinking is it's definitely true. And I think that my hamstrings have been so tight lately that whenever I go to do deep squats or stiff leg deadlifts, it's actually pulling on my spine in a bad position. So I think that's causing that pain because I can't even get down in position because I'm so tight.
Yeah, so Joe Estremo says that Wednesdays are the real man day, man, because we go super heavy that day. So he's 100% right with that. But, yeah, my assessment on you is that your hamstrings are super, super tight. You should be able to get your hamstrings in a 90-degree angle stretching, and yours is not at a 90-degree angle at all. So you definitely got to work on that flexibility in the hamstring because that's definitely pulling on the hips, pulling on the lower back, and that's what's causing all your fuck-ups, man. Oh, are we allowed to curse at this?
I don't know. We're trying it out. Let's see.
We'll find out. Usually, guys, if you're not listening to this and not a fan of New York Muscle Radio, we definitely curse it up over there. Oh, man, you hear the ice cream man?
I do, actually.
That's fucking loud, man. I hear it all the way in my house.
Mr. Softy. He was at my house earlier today, man. I guess he took a ride out by you.
Yeah, you have ice cream today?
No, I didn't have any. I kind of wanted some, actually.
I had some, 3 servings. I get this slow churned one from Stop and Shop. So good, man. It's so good. It's so delicious. It tastes like ice cream. It's got like 4 grams. I mean, it is ice cream, but it tastes like real ice cream, and it only has like 3 to 4 grams, depending on which one of fat per serving. So it's just mainly carbs. It's really good, actually, really good.
Yeah, man. I saved the stuff like that when I actually diet. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, so we have a question here. We have a couple questions. These things are just flying in right now, I guess, because this thing might be a little bit delayed. So let's show the first question here. So Rebecca says, every single time I squat, my hip flexors are tight. I have to foam roll to help loosen them up, and every time I go heavier. So, yeah, Rebecca, I agree. Foam rolling, I like to do a lot of foam rolling after and do a lot of warm-up type stuff. So maybe just doing some pause squats, that'll definitely help loosen up the hip flexors as well. But, different strokes for different folks. So if you feel better foam rolling beforehand, I used to foam roll a lot beforehand, and I always used to have a lot of nagging injuries when I did that. It wasn't until I stopped foam rolling that I actually felt a lot better. So there's another question here. Here, you can take this one, man. What are y'all's thoughts on body fat set point? After a long cut, is it possible to reverse that into a lower body fat set point and feel as good as I did during the higher body fat pre-cut?
That's a good question. And, body fat set point is something that definitely exists, so you need to pay attention to that. You need to be aware that everybody has a different body fat set point. My body fat set point, Anthony's, are different, but that's not to say it's a static thing. You can change your body fat set point, but somebody who has a naturally very low body fat set point and then somebody who has a higher body fat set point, they're never going to go from the really high body fat set point to the really low. You got to think about it as like everybody has a slight range for their genetic makeup, so you can improve it. But like I said, probably my body fat set point will never be what Anthony's is naturally, but I could get it a little bit lower than where mine normally is, and the same thing with him. So everybody has a little range they can work with.
Yeah, I don't think you could definitely change that number. I mean, you could change your body fat definitely, but you can't change where your body naturally wants to sit at, just the way it goes. Unfortunately, I wish there was a way, because I would love to learn that way and stay 4% body fat year round, you know?
It would be nice, but, you know, as far as doing it all natural and working with your body and your genetic makeup, you're born with a certain set of genes, and, you know, you do your best with them.
I'm trying to pull up I want to do the shout-outs portion of this podcast, and I'm trying to pull it up on my phone, and it's taking a little bit of time, man. So you got that stupid song stuck in my head today, man, from when we were training today.
Oh, man, that's great. Well, that song's been stuck in my head since Sunday. I've been listening to it, singing it, and now it's part of my workout playlist.
Yeah, you want to tell everybody what it is? I don't even know. How did you stumble upon that? Like, again,
I mean, it's so every once in a while, I don't know, people could probably relate. You ever just wake up in the morning, you have a song stuck in your head for no apparent reason? You know, I mean, that's what happened with me. And I was listening to, I don't even know the name of it, but from Mrs. Doubtfire. It was the opera song he sang in the beginning of the movie, which is a great opera song.
Oh, my God. That's so funny, though.
It was great.
Yeah, I'll do some shout-outs, man. You can pull that up, and we can play it for everybody.
I don't think anyone cares about that.
Nah, it's funny, man. I like that. I laughed. All right, so we got some shout-outs here. We got Amanda Mueller, Theodore Laguzino, Milena Majors, Kylie Reagan, Heather Daniel Red.
True New York Muscle Radio fashion, butchering the names.
Fucking everybody's name up. Ivan Luna, Buff My Box Jumps, Tom Cadon, Brad Boyd, Eric McCoyvier. So if you guys want to shout out, you can head on over to facebook.com/New York Muscle Radio and like our page, and we'll shout you out on the next after hours show, which we should actually do a set time for this, man. So this way we could schedule it up instead of just randomly doing these. But I think this is cool. If this is working out, we'll probably keep this the entire time, man. This is a cool way to do it. You know, we did buy a new camera to try to do all this.
We were intending on doing this completely different, and this is kind of a last minute thing. So if you guys like this, we'll keep doing it this way. But I mean, either way is fine with me.
Yeah, we actually got a question, so we'll just hop in here and we'll answer this question. So Marcy wants to know, what are the benefits of fasted cardio? So now Marcy is also one of our clients. She's deep in contest prep, a couple weeks out. So I could see where this question has stemmed from for her. But, fasted cardio, there's no benefit to regular cardio. I would prefer actually for you to eat beforehand, because you're going to have the fuel to actually do your cardio correctly and end up burning more calories that way. Sometimes with fasted cardio, you might not feel as energetic. You may not burn as many calories. It really all depends. But fasted cardio is not better than regular cardio. Yeah. So don't get fooled into thinking that it's better or you're going to burn more fat doing it.
Yeah, and you see, the thing is, it's so popular with competitors because it's one of those things where it's just kind of the standard for competitors, but a lot of people don't realize why they're doing it, and usually the reasoning behind doing it that people say that it's beneficial is because they're saying, okay, since there's no food in my system, I'm burning pure body fat. And see, the thing is with that, that's very easy to make it sound like it's actually doing something beneficial, but the fact is, and we say this a lot, throughout the entire day, your body's either burning fat, maintaining fat, or even storing fat. Even in a deficit, there's times a day where you are storing body fat because you're not always burning through the amount of calories that you're consuming. It's just the net at the end of the day that matters most. So even if you do burn more body fat in the morning because you did fasted cardio, if you're not in that deficit for the whole day, you're not going to lose weight. So it matters throughout the 24-hour period. So you don't have to do anything at a certain time.
Yeah, so that was a good question, Marcy. Thank you for the question. But it actually brings up something that I actually just saw on Facebook not too long ago, actually. Someone took a picture of their biceps, and they had like a nice bicep, split. And it's basically when you could see like the cut between the outer portion of the bicep and the inner portion of the bicep. And they were talking about how they train for the muscle split. And I just started laughing because there's no way to train for that. That's just purely genetic. And everybody has that split, but body fat will determine how much of that actually comes out. But there's a lot of myths out there. A lot of people think that if they do certain things, they're going to get a certain result. You know, and it's really, really simple fitness. It basically comes down to being in a caloric deficit, dieting, and training. It's that simple. You know, a lot of people come to me and they're amazed when I just explain how simple it is. And everybody thinks they have to do something totally complicated. Oh, I'm dieting. They think they automatically have to be suffering. Sometimes you don't even have to be suffering in order to get results, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. You just have to put in the work and then get the results, you know, and everybody's different. I say it all the time, too. There's people that have to diet on 100 grams of carbs to lose weight. There's somebody that can diet on 300 grams of carbs to lose weight. It's the same thing. There's people that go in the gym. They only have to train 3 or 4 days a week, and they build muscle very fast. There's other people doing 6 days a week, and their progress is very slow. So everybody is different, and, you know, some people have to work harder than others to get the same results, and that's just, you know, that's the way it is. But, you know, there's always an amount of work that you have to do to get the results that you want. So you have to do that work regardless, you know. So that's how you're going to get results.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the quote of the day, man. The New York Muscle Radio quote of the day. You put it up in our private group that we have, which is our group coaching, which I love that group, man. That group is unbelievable. There's a whole bunch of dedicated individuals in there. And the next time those groups open up, you guys have to jump in on that because it's really unbelievable to be a part of that group and just watch the relationships unfold with these people. It's really unreal. But I like that quote. Put it up.
Yeah, so that's can I put it in here or I have to read it?
No, you have to read it.
I gotta read it. Okay. So eventually we'll work out the kinks. I could comment in here and you guys can see my quote. But this was by Muhammad Ali, and he said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion." So
yeah,
that was something that I posted in that New York Muscle Radio group. That's the Summer Shred group that we have on Facebook. I put that in there just to remind people that, you know, a lot of times people forget that they're going to have to suffer to get the results they want. And I said it in there too. It's with anything in life. It's not even with fitness. A lot of times people don't relate fitness to real life, but it really is the same. You know, as far as getting results in fitness, it's the same with real life. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the pain, the suffering, whatever it takes to get those results. And a lot of times people want comfort more than they want. You know, they want to avoid the pain more than they want the results, and that's the problem. You know, you have to say, okay, if my results come at the sacrifice of this pain, this suffering, then you should want to suffer because you know the results are going to come. But a lot of times people just want to avoid that.
Yeah, it's so funny too because even with powerlifting training, sometimes I'm like, oh, man, I just don't want to get on the squat bar. I don't feel like doing this. Why am I doing this? You start questioning everything, and you know, it's so true what he says. I hated every minute of training, but you have to go through that period, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's with anything in life. So, you know, if people start to – a lot of times people just don't look at it that way. So if you really look at it and say, okay, that pain and that suffering is in direct relationship with my goals, then you should welcome that pain and suffering because you know you're reaching those goals. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I have to do this to get the results. So you want to do it then, you know? Yeah. But people don't look at it that way, and then they just try to avoid the pain and suffering.
So Bijan Rizdana says, hey, Anthony, thank you for the podcast and New York Muscle Farm.
I'm laughing at Rebecca. She says you can unpack your microwave.
Thanks for totally cutting this guy off, man.
Sorry. I just thought
you're an asshole, man. You're a real asshole. Say nice things to the guy now.
All right, I'll read his question.
There's not a question. I read it already.
All right. Well, he appreciates the podcast, and although he directed it to you, I just want to say I also appreciate that he's listening and supporting because we do this for you guys, and you know, everyone who listens supports. You know, you guys are the reason we do this.
So, Rebecca, the reason why I can't unpack my microwave is because I'm actually getting my kitchen done. So there you go. There's the answer to that. So he says, "You guys are awesome. My wife, I love you guys. We love you too, man. Thank you." All right, so another one of our clients popping in here. What's up, guys? Loving this After Hours Live. Yeah, it's definitely working out the kinks of this, and this is actually fun. So I kind of like this, man. This is cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different here. And like I said, for anybody who wasn't here in the beginning, we normally do questions on the podcast. But if you guys want to do them live and you're here right now, just throw them in the comment section. We'll answer them live.
Yeah, Rebecca actually said here, okay, just don't starve, basically with the microwave in the background. So I should actually talk about this. So getting the kitchen done, it actually makes it very, very hard to get food done, to get food in just in general. Yeah. So I've been relying on shakes, protein bars, and a crock pot, believe it or not. I love chicken in the crock pot. It literally so easy to make. I literally take the chicken, put it inside the crock pot, fill it with water, season it like crazy, and just let it cook for 4 hours on high. And it makes it so good. It comes out, like pulled chicken. So for me, this is what I'm living off of. And carbs are always easy. I can't actually turn the camera, but if I could turn the camera, I would show you my cabinet stocked with cereal. And I literally been doing the Pete Kacharian, putting the cereal inside the shaker cup, and that's what I've been living off of. But it definitely doesn't make it easy. It definitely doesn't make it easy, but so many people complain. You know how many times I've trained people, and they're like, oh, I'm getting my kitchen done, so I had to eat out all the time. It's like, come on. Stop using excuses. You could do it. If I could do it, you could do it. I'm no one special.
Again, it's a comfort thing and a convenience thing. You know, how much easier is it just to go order food than to have to pre-make meals, put stuff together, and all that stuff.
I can get my dog on the podcast. You see her head?
I see her. Yeah.
She's sitting next to me. Let's see if I can move this a little bit. Come on, Sadie. Smile for the camera. There she is. My pal. Every time I record a podcast, she's right on top.
My dog is usually on my lap when I record it. She doesn't care right now. She's not even upstairs. She's downstairs just hanging out. She's like, all right, screw him. He fed me dinner, and I'll go hang out and sleep now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Bijan Rizdad, he also says, sorry, guys, I'm using my speech to text. What I meant to tell you is you guys are awesome. My wife and I listen to New York Muscle all the time. Thanks for all the advice and information. You're welcome, man. And speech to text, sometimes it fucks up. We get it, man. We totally get it. Rebecca says, Pete, she likes those trophies. I have mine in the gym, so he's just showing off as usual.
Yeah,
so
I have more than him.
Yeah, I know. So Kalina goes, oh, coaches, I get a cheat weekend. It's my birthday on Sunday. And then she says, well, haha, in my dreams. And you're right, Kalina, in your dreams, you're mini cutting, so you will not be having a cheat weekend. But my birthday's coming up, too. I didn't know you were a Gemini. Are you a Gemini? Does that make you a Gemini? 30.
You just reminded him about 30.
Look. How much? How much?
There's actually nothing in my hair right now. That's a good question, though. I really should add that up. The only thing I spend money on for my hair is I get got to be glued gel. And as I was telling you on the podcast the other day, I just wash my hair with a bar of soap. I don't even use shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting fact. I didn't know that, but well, that's a funny question. So Sean West commented, he says, I really enjoyed the Cooking with Big Pete show. You guys are going to do that again in the future. And yes, we are. I'm actually redoing my kitchen. So once my kitchen's renovated and up and running, it becomes a tax write-off for me, and I start recording videos in there. So
everything's a tax write-off.
Everything's a tax write-off when you're out of business, man.
Yeah, what do you guys want to see as far as do you have anything specific you want to see me cook?
Yeah, Kalina's a Gemini. Yeah, Gemini.
The cooking segment's usually just impulsive, whatever we're going to eat that day. So
yeah, but it's so funny because I feel like the cooking segments that we've done, it's literally the same thing every time we make.
That's what we eat every time.
It's a different variation. Yeah. It's either ground chicken or chicken. So Rebecca wants to know, do you weigh your meats raw or after you cook it? This is a good question, actually, because I do both. So yes, you want to take it?
I do also. And, so the short answer is you can do it either way, whatever's more convenient for you. But generally, I like to weigh my red meats raw. And, my lean meats like my chicken or turkey, I'll weigh that cooked. And the main thing you just want to know is when you're weighing it, make sure you're using nutrition facts for either raw or cooked. Generally, raw is going to be a little more accurate, but if you're making, let's say, chicken, if you look at the nutrition label, it'll say 4 ounces raw makes 3 ounces cooked, and the macros are exactly the same. So if you're doing a 3 ounce serving cooked or 4 ounce raw, the macros are the same. So if you're gonna have chicken, no one's really gonna make 4 ounces of chicken and then just eat that. So usually weighing it cooked is easier. But if you're making, let's say, a steak or a hamburger or something like that, just weigh the patty raw because it's going to be a little more accurate depending on how well you cook it. And you're just going to get an accurate reading that way. But if you have if you got a pre-made red meat, then just use the macronutrients for it cooked. So whatever works best for you, though.
Yeah, don't go crazy. As long as you're consistent weighing it, it's fine. If you're always doing it raw, then fine. I love to do it raw. But
just don't make the mistake.
Yeah.
Just don't make the mistake of using the raw nutrition facts for a cooked piece when it's a very fatty piece of meat, because the nutrition facts are going to change drastically. So make sure if you're weighing it raw, you're using the raw facts, and if you're weighing it cooked, use the cooked nutrition facts because they'll differ greatly.
Yeah, so if I usually eat like a whole pound of ground turkey or whatever it is, I'll just count it in as 16 ounces raw because that's exactly what it is, and I cook it. Usually when you cook it, it ends up being like 12, I think, something like that. You cook out like that much water.
Yeah.
So if I know I'm going to eat all of it, then that's what I'll do. If I know I'm going to eat all of it in different days, then I'll just count it as 16. That's usually what I do. That's a good question, though, man. That's confusing. We went on that whole rant about that with the cooked ground 93 ground turkey versus raw 93 ground turkey.
Yeah, and that's a question that not many people really answer. They'll just say whichever one you prefer. But like I said, you can do it both ways. You just have to make sure you use the right nutrition facts. So there's not one that's better than the other. Whatever's better for you is the better choice.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to get the results you've always dreamed of? Do you want coaches that genuinely care, are professional, and get back to you in a timely manner? Do you want to be stronger, healthier, and look better naked? Then let me tell you, New York Muscle Radio is definitely your answer. Since working with them, I can hardly believe the results.
They coached me through a post-contest reverse diet and all the way through to an off-season strength program.
These two fitness geniuses have pushed me outside of my comfort zone, and in the process, I have been able to make big jumps on all of my major lifts.
In 14 weeks, I added 100 pounds to my powerlifting total and smashed my first meet.
Since working with them, I've added 55 pounds to my squat, 50 pounds to my deadlift, and 20 pounds to my bench press.
And in 12 weeks, I dropped over 10 pounds of body fat and added over 20 pounds to all my lifts.
I have never had as amazing of glutes as I have training with them. So I can say, no matter what your goals are, you're guaranteed to be stronger, healthier, and let's face it, better looking if Pete and Anthony are your coaches.
So if you are tuning in to listen and learn from the huge array of knowledge these two have, or if you want to hire them as your coaches, you will not be disappointed.
New York Muscle Radio is the best in the business.
You heard it from our New York Muscle Radio clients. Do you want to join our team and reach your fitness goals? Visit NewYorkMuscleRadio.com for all our coaching programs.
But I'll tell you what, when I'm done, my biceps are humongous. Humongous. Like that bang.
My name is Anthony Bevilacqua, and I'm the host of New York Muscle Radio podcast. My arms have been a weak point for years. When I started training, my arms measured 11 inches. Even after many years of hardcore training, nothing would get them to grow. With the help of my co-host, Big Pete, we set out on a mission to gain 1 solid inch to my arms in 12 weeks.
In the greatest experiment of all.
12 weeks later, this program finally helped me get 18-inch arms. The 12-week arm experiment, the ultimate arm growth program, ebook, the audiobook, and the workout video. Pick up your copy now on NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
Hey, great coffee.
Doesn't it taste good as fresh perk?
Better.
Better than those girls make at the office?
Honey, their coffee can't hold a candle to yours.
Caffeine, the world's only instant coffee that's fortified with muscle-building protein. Visit buyproteincoffee.com now.
Damn.
Nice, Pete.
What?
I saw you checking out that girl's butt.
What? I was just checking out her yoga pants.
Pete.
I was thinking you'd look really good in yoga pants.
Uh-huh.
I was like trying to check out what brand it was. Like I was looking at her form on deadlifts. They were all messed up.
Do you think she has a nicer butt than me?
Well, it definitely doesn't look like a pancake.
Did you just call my butt a pancake?
Well, I mean...
What can I do?
You gotta try New York Muscle Radio's Glutylicious program.
Glutylicious?
Yeah, you'll finally get a celebrity booty, like all the other girls following the program.
Fine, I'll do it. But don't get jealous when other guys check out my glutylicious ass.
Glutylicious, your guide to getting a celebrity booty in 12 weeks. Now available exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
What's up, New York Muscle Radio listeners? It's your co-host, Big Pete Kacharian, and I'm glad you're all listening. Put down that tilapia and asparagus. Learn how to get bigger, stronger, and leaner eating what you want. Pick up a copy of Cracking the Flexible Dieting Code exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com. But for now, let's get to the show.
All right, man, let's move on to the listener question of the day. If you guys have a question, you can either ask it below, or you can head on over to our website, NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/listener question. I wonder if I could add another person in here. No, I probably can't, right? So today's question is from Tim Chris. He says, "Hi, guys, long-time listener. My question is, safety bar squats as good as regular squats? Also, by the time you're getting this, I've competed in the Masters, Mr. Cincinnati, over 60, and I took first. Thanks, you guys have given me so much great information. One more thing, the Mr. Cincinnati is the longest ongoing bodybuilding show, 77 years. So congratulations, Tim, on competing and coming in first. So congratulations to you." So he basically wants to know if safety bar squats are as good as regular squats. And the reason I'm going to answer this question a little differently, it really depends. It depends on your goals. If your goal is to be a better bodybuilder, maybe. If you feel that better in your quads and your hamstrings, then yes, then it is definitely a better alternative. If you're a powerlifter, it's not as good as regular squats because when you powerlift, you have to do the regular squat. So it's really going to depend. Again, safety bar squats, all these other exercises are just a tool in the toolbox. You have to be able to, use them when you can. So it may be good to change it up every once in a while, but I'll never really say there's one exercise that's always going to be better than the other.
Yeah, you have to ask yourself why you're doing the squat in the first place, and that'll probably answer your question.
We always ask you that question, Pete.
Yeah, and you know what? I still haven't come up with the answer. That's why I don't do them. But no. In all seriousness, if your answer to that question is, okay, I'm doing squats to build bigger quads, then is it necessarily a requirement? No, there's other options that you could use. You could do a front squat, you could do hack squats, you could use, like you said, a safety bar squat. And that'll serve the same purpose. So, if there's another reason that you're doing them, like Anthony said, powerlifting, then, obviously the squat is something you're going to want to do and you're not going to want to sub it out. So just ask yourself why you're doing it. And, that with anything that you do in the gym, a lot of times people don't ask themselves that. They just say, okay, I'm supposed to do bench press for chest. But if your goal is, if you're doing bench press because you want to build bigger pecs, there's other options that might be just as good. And if not, there's plenty that actually might be better than just the bench.
So Rebecca actually has two questions, so I'll just answer this one because this one is more related, and then we'll go back to the other one. She says, what do you think about hack squats in addition to regular barbell squats? Again, it's all going to depend on your goals and what you're trying to achieve. I like the hack squat for bodybuilding purposes. I think it does hit the quads a little bit more than regular squats do. But you can't – squat is the king of all exercises. You have to do them. So, I would say that it's fine to do them in either or. It really depends on your goal and what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to burn as much fat as possible, everything has its place. You have anything you want to add to that?
I like hack squats, like you said, for bodybuilding purposes. I think if you want to add additional volume in, she's saying in addition. So if you want to do something extra, then I think hack squats are a perfect addition to regular barbell squats.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. So she also asks, do you all generally eat the same meals every week, every meal? We definitely have our base of meals that we definitely eat. I eat a lot of cereal and whey protein. I eat a lot of ground turkey. Well, when I had a kitchen, that was what I was eating. What I eat a lot of pretzel bagels. Like we definitely have our mix of the same things that we eat all the time. I know you do the same thing as well. So
yeah, I vary based on what I feel like eating that day, but I do have kind of like a base that I say eat about 75-80% of the time. I mean, mainly my protein sources are all the same, and then I kind of just fill in the carbs with like whatever I feel like eating that day. So if one day I want to eat some brown rice or white rice, I'll do that. Other weeks, if I want to do pasta, I will. But like I always go for like an egg meal a day, a red meat meal a day, and then like a chicken or turkey meal, and then a whey protein meal, and then I kind of just fill everything in around that. And if one day I don't want to do eggs, I don't do eggs, and I'll just swap it out with whey protein and stuff like that, and then I make up the fats with other sources. But there's always a base that I have.
Yeah, lately I've been eating
simple. I keep it simple.
I've been eating a ton of peanut butter lately. Yeah, it just makes it easy to get the fat in. I was on a butter kick for a while, actually, too.
Yeah, I haven't eaten butter in a long, long time, man. It's just not something that I've kept in my diet regularly.
Yeah, I like butter. I like having butter. It's easy, very easy to add in.
Yeah, of course.
Pete, I have no idea how long we've been recording for. Do you want to give me an idea?
That's a good question.
You can check out on actual Facebook. I have no idea how long we've been recording for. and I don't want to bore everybody with our nonsense.
I have no idea, man. I have no way of checking right now.
It doesn't say on the Facebook?
No, it doesn't say. Maybe somebody watching this could tell us, but I think because it's live, it doesn't tell you.
Yeah, once again, we have to just figure out all the kinks here, which I'm sure we will.
I think.
Yeah, man, what else is?
I'll double check really quick. I'm sorry, you can keep going ahead.
33 minutes, Jeff Queen. What's up, Jeff?
Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, so hold on. All right, so Bijan Rizdad says, hey, can you guys give a quick shout out to myboxjumps.com? Your podcast is on it for people to listen to. Actually, we just shouted you out on the shout out portion, so you weren't listening to this, man. We just shouted you out. But again, our podcast must be listed there. So thank you for listening to the podcast there, man. And we appreciate any time any of you guys share this. So if you can share this right now, it helps get the word out. Remember, my goal is to help over 1 million people do this, and we're almost there. Then I have to set a bigger goal after that. But, you know, we want the good word to be spread out there on New York Muscle Radio because we like to give all this information out and cut out all the fluff in this industry because there's so much fucking bullshit out there. I can't even begin to tell you the amount of bullshit that is out there. Tony says 35 minutes we've been recording for, so thanks, Tony. And Rebecca says, I miss Laura Bevilacqua. Yeah, I don't. I see her too often, so I don't miss her at all, actually. But, yeah, sorry about that, guys. She backed out on us. She should come on this sometimes. Maybe we'll see. I gotta put my big brother foot down with her and get her back on. And, yeah, I don't know. So she couldn't. She said there's too much going on right now, and she just wasn't for her. So what can you do, right?
It's not for everybody. So
it's not for everybody.
She's in school right now, so she's got other stuff going on.
Yeah, but New York Muscle Radio should be the most important thing, you know?
This is the most important thing in my life, man.
Yeah, I know. Mine too.
It's my baby.
Mine too.
Yeah. We have a baby together, man?
Huh?
We have a baby together?
As long as it doesn't look like you, man. It can have your hair. I'll give it that. It can have your hair. Although I did win best hair in high school.
Hey, man, high school was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do, man? So what else is going on in Big Pete Kacharian's world, man? Anything new and exciting?
Exciting? No. New? Not really. It's pretty much the same thing, like I always say, and that's good though. I like it like that because it's you know, I don't like too much drama. I don't like too much stuff going on, and I'm just happy to be doing what we're doing right now. And you know, everything's good. Training's been good. Bulking has been good.
What about the love life, man? The love life good?
The love life is always good, man.
Oh, that's good.
I never have problems with that. I would vent to you if I had problems. You know that. You know you're my therapist.
Yeah, I know.
I vent to you about all my problems. It's generally not on live broadcast. I know that's what you might want, but you know, if I have problems, I vent to you're my big brother, man.
Can I bill your insurance?
You know, maybe we could get it to that point. We could both benefit from it.
I wish that personal trainers could take insurance, man. I really think you know, in all seriousness aside, I know there's a lot of shitty personal trainers out there, but there's also a lot of shitty chiropractors, doctors, dentists. There's a lot of shitty of those out there too. I really wish that we could start collecting insurance as a personal trainer. I really think it would be a good thing for people. Again, obesity is one of the things that causes all these diseases too. But see, the way medicine works in the United States is just, okay, you have an issue, here's a Band-Aid to fix it. They don't really get to the underlying issue. So, you know, and if everyone was in shape and exercised, everyone would feel a lot better. Pains would go away. I can't begin to tell you how many people come to me for personal training. They have all these pains, their hips, their knees. They start exercising for a couple of weeks, losing a little bit of body fat, and they feel better instantly. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because most of the injuries, and I say this too, I've suffered a few injuries, you know, training, and it's not from the actual squatting. It's not from the heavy deadlifting. You know, people always talk bad about these exercises. They say, oh, you're going to hurt your back squatting, you're going to hurt your back deadlifting, your knees, whatever. So many times it's just people that are out of shape. They sit in chairs too much. Their posture's terrible. You know, it's all these things that they're doing outside of the gym. Then when they come in the gym, it exposes it, and then they get injured. You know, so a lot of times these injuries are happening not because they're working out. It's because of everything else going on in their life.
Yeah. So Rebecca says here that fitness changes so many lives that it should and saves so many lives. So health insurance should definitely consider it. I agree 100%, man. I really do. I think that it's very important. So hold on. Let's see Kalina here. She has a question. This is covering our face, this question. So, there you go. Pick your head up, man.
Pick my head up?
Yeah. You can't see this?
What does this have to do with my head?
You're being covered right now. Whatever. I don't know. I usually first thing in the morning, Is it better to train fasted and save my macros for after, or should I eat a little something even if I only have 30 minutes to digest it before training? If so, can you suggest a meal? I'll usually do something quick like a half a Quest bar, a rice cake, or half a banana just for a quick source of energy. Plus, I usually wake up starving.
Yeah, I mean, if she wakes up starving and she goes right to the gym, I would put something in her system just because, for me, it depends on everybody else, but if you're like me and it sounds like she is, I wake up very hungry in the morning. I know you don't wake up too hungry in the morning.
She's not like you, man. She's a Gemini. She's a lot better than you.
All right. Well, as far as eating, if she's like anything like me in that regard, get some food in your system just because you're going to train better when you're not thinking about food. Me, if I have to wake up and I have to go right to the gym and I have to train for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'm hungry the whole time, my mind's going to be on food. My performance is probably going to suffer a little bit, both mentally and physically. So get some food in. But if you're like Anthony, or if you're like a lot of people who don't really have an appetite in the morning and you're going straight to the gym, you can benefit just from having some BCAAs. Get that in your system because it'll be in your system within 10, 15 minutes, and that's going to help prevent some muscle breakdown from not having food in your system, and then train and then save your calories for after your workout. And that works really well for some people, not everybody. Some people, that's actually a worse option. Like myself, honestly, I wouldn't even try doing it just because I don't work well like that. So it depends.
Yeah, everyone's different, and I agree. If you feel like you need a little something, then definitely have a little something. If you want to save your calories for later, you can absolutely do that. For Saturdays when I work out, I usually work in the morning and work till like afternoon, so I'll work till like 1-ish, completely fasted, and then I'll train, and then I'll just eat after that for the rest of the day. I mean, I just do that out of convenience. But if I do feel like I need something, I'll just mix up of either I'll just run in and have a banana, an apple, something quick. Just a little bit of carb usually gets in. For me, that's fine. So, again, you have to go with what you feel is best for your body. But that was a good question, though. All right. So, Noreen Rizdad says, can you give me any tips for a trainer starting out in the industry? I recently got my NASM and I'm looking to get into the field. So, yes, if you want to become a personal trainer, NASM is a great certification. I definitely recommend that certification. It definitely goes above and beyond all the other ones. Just one tip that I could give any trainer starting out is learn as much as you can. Head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked. Pick up that free 12-week program. Learn from it. Learn why we put it together. Learn how it's put together. Learn how to progress. You have to constantly be learning in order to be a good personal trainer. A lot of trainers out there just think they get certified and they know everything. And let me tell you something, that certification book does nothing to make you a good trainer. It doesn't, and one of the other things too, which is a pet peeve of mine, it doesn't even teach trainers how to survive. It doesn't teach you how to get clients. Yeah. It just literally teaches you stuff that you'll never use. So the certification is great and it's important to have a really good one, but you also have to remember that you have to learn. You have to definitely be interested in it too. A lot of people just become personal trainers because of the money and because of the easy and the flexibility, but you have to actually have an interest in it. That's how you have the ability to change lives as a personal trainer. So it's important to follow through with that and really help change people's lives. And the only way you can do that is by knowledge. What the hell are you laughing at, man?
I'm laughing at the next comment that you got to get to.
I have so many, man. There's so many here. All right, so why don't you play it?
So I'm going to play this song that I added to my playlist. So for anybody who's listening earlier in the podcast, I mentioned that I had a new song I added to my playlist, and it was I don't know the name of this song, but it's from Mrs. Doubtfire, and it's the opera in the beginning. So let me.
This is Pete's favorite song. He actually trained to this today.
Yes, I actually did.
We're gonna lose all the listeners.
Guys, bear with me. All right, enough of that. But you guys
there's the best part coming up, man.
I listen to some weird shit when I work out, and I tend to enjoy it.
Yeah, you're just a weird fucking guy, man. All right, so Joe King wants to know, hey, Pete, is the trophy tapping?
It's a good question. I don't know.
That's
I'd have
great.
to see from your point of view. I can't
That's
see
great.
since it's in
It's
reverse,
trophy
but
tapping.
it might
Actually,
be. Might be, yeah?
That's fucking hilarious. All right,
Only
Mike
Joe
Brill says,
would notice that.
yeah, shout out to Mike Brill. He says, hey, guys, listening intently. Good, man. Take notes because we're spewing out all kinds of knowledge on this podcast. Tony says, I get $20 back from my insurance for going to the gym 12 times a month. Actually, I know a lot of insurance companies that pay for a gym membership also. So check your insurance, guys. You may get free gym membership out of it. So, yeah, I've heard of that before. And you could probably get them to actually pay more of your membership. I'm not sure, though. Maybe. But that's pretty good, $20 a month. That's got to be at least half your membership. So I'll take
Not
that. All right. So Rebecca wants to know, can you explain the difference between the deadlift styles? So yeah, we have a couple of deadlift styles. I'll leave the question up there, and I'll put the camera on me. You can take a break, man. If you need to pick your nose, you can go ahead and do that now. So can you explain the difference between the deadlift styles? So there's a couple of different deadlifts. You have the regular conventional deadlift, you have a sumo deadlift, and you have a stiff leg deadlift and a Romanian deadlift. So we'll dissect these. I guess I'll pass one to you, man, so this way you can talk a little bit. So I'll talk about regular conventional deadlifts. So regular conventional deadlifts, basically the barbell's on the floor, you're bending down, and you're picking it up. It's that simple of a movement. Explaining it anyway, but there's a lot that goes into the deadlift. Yeah. Then you have the sumo stance deadlift, which is basically your feet are out wider outside of your hands, and you're in more of a sumo stance, more like a split squat kind of a stance, and you same idea, picking the weight up off the ground. And with the other two, here you go. Whoop. There you go, man. Whoop. Again, I did it. There we go. Yeah. All right, man, you can take Romanian and stiff leg.
Yeah, so the first two, conventional and sumo, those are generally power movements. They're designed to use as much muscle as possible, trying to use the whole body to lift the weight. Now, when you're doing something like a stiff leg or a Romanian, generally that's more of it's not an isolation. It's still a compound movement, but the goal is to isolate the hamstrings a little more. It's generally a primary hamstring movement and entire posterior chain movement. So the stiff leg deadlift is going to be a little bit more targeted to the hamstrings directly. So if you wanted to pick one for hamstrings, stiff leg deadlift's a little better. Your knees are going to be more locked out. You're going to be more upright, and there's going to be a lot of bend in the hips. Romanian deadlift, range of motion is going to be a little shorter. It's not going to be directly stressing the hamstrings. It's going to be more of a hip hinge movement. So there's more hip involvement with Romanian than a stiff leg, but they're both taking the quads out of the movement.
Yeah, I like
again,
that.
Which one you should use, you got to ask yourself why you're doing the movement. So if you want to get as strong as possible and you're trying to incorporate as many muscle groups as possible, then you want to go with one of the first two. If you're using it to, build your hamstrings, Romanian stiff leg is a better option, All
right, guys, so make sure you share this feed. Again, we want to try to get the word out there. This is a New York Muscle Radio after hour show. This is when we just go on our rants. We're going to try to save all this, craziness for this. Instead of on the podcast, we're going to kind of get to more of the point on the podcast. And we'll still rant on there, but this is going to be where it's more at. We want to interact with you guys and make it like you're on the show with us. So make sure you share this with everyone. We have to come up with a time, man, for this and do it every week the same time, man. Maybe Wednesday nights. I don't know. We have to, figure that out. Yeah, it'd be cool to do it all different times. Don't get all different people.
Yeah, like we always do. We just kind of start something, then we just keep it rolling, and we'll see what happens.
I got another question here. How long does someone who started training after 30 has to train before competing in the amateur class? So there's really no right answer to that. I mean, you can compete whenever you feel ready to compete. I would say you need at least a good 2-3 years to actually have a good amount of muscle in order to compete. But again, it's very different depending on the person and their genetics, how much muscle they have. So I would say definitely, any 2 to 3 years, I would say is a good time. But then I know people won their pro card in that amount of time too. So it really depends. Yeah. We've had clients do that in less time too. So again, it just really, really all depends. But that's a good question though.
Yeah, you're generally going to hit your, I'd say about 90% of your genetic potential if you're training correctly and dieting correctly within the first 3 years of training, believe it or not. The rest is just slow little progress that you're going to make after that, But many people don't get to their genetic potential within the first 3 years because they don't train correctly and they don't diet correctly. But if you're doing everything correctly, you can absolutely, like I said, get to about 90% of your genetic makeup within 3 years. No problem at all. That's actually plenty of time.
Yeah, way more time. Oh, man, this is actually cool. I like this. This is working out better than I thought it was going to. We spent all that money on that damn camera.
Yeah, man. Can we still return it? I think Amazon will take it back.
Yeah, I have no idea. So Rebecca's commenting, those arms, Pete.
Oh, that's why I got him, just for the comments.
But you see what he's doing? I wish I could zoom in on you right now. But you see what you're doing? You're taking your hand and you're pushing your bicep up. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm doing one of these things.
Yeah, where you're pushing it up to make it look bigger.
And the camera, I don't know, I can't see how the camera's on me right now, but it looks like it's cutting everything else off but the arms. So.
Yeah, well, you definitely can't see your calves in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you show everyone your calves, what they look like,
design, man. That's by design.
That's by design. Yeah, tomorrow's a heavy day, man. Here we go.
How many times a day do you measure? Honestly, not every day. I got to make sure that they either don't get smaller or grow, you know. But you know, it's kind of like one of those checks in the morning. Let me make sure these things are still the same size.
What else do you check for in the morning to make sure it's the same size, man?
That's it, man. I'm too old to be checking that at this point. I don't think it's growing anymore.
Yeah, poor thing's probably all disheveled. All right, so Rebecca wants to know, she says, Brad is doing the same arm program and making some serious progress. Well, yes, of course. And that's exactly why we developed it, because it worked for me and it will work for everybody. So to understand what she's talking about, it's a 12-week arm experiment program. You can head it over to NewYorkMuscleRadio.com and click on the programs tab and click on the arm program. And that's exactly what she's talking about. It's a 12-week program. And we'll get your arms 1 inch in 12 weeks. There you go, Pete. See that? Did you see the screen or no?
Yeah, Joe's telling us he has an eggplant.
He's showing you his eggplant, I guess, huh? Yeah, so tomorrow's a super heavy day. I think I'm squatting 515 again tomorrow. I think I'm benching 345. And I think I'm deadlifting like 540 or something like that. So, yeah, I better get to bed soon, huh?
Yeah, man, it's going to be a tough day for me, too. I got to do barbell curls and dumbbell curls.
So basically, we got the same question again. I thought this was interesting. What's your opinion on training on an empty stomach first thing in the morning? So we basically just answered this question 3 times. Apparently everybody wants to know the same thing here. You don't have to train fasted. Very simple. You don't have to train fasted. If you like to train fasted, you can. There's no additional benefits to doing that. Boom. Rebecca says, don't puke. I'm assuming she's referring to tomorrow, and I probably will with squats.
He still has it yet, though.
No, I haven't, but I feel it every single time.
You come pretty close every single time, but you still haven't yet.
Yeah, it's the anxiety.
Have you ever actually thrown up from working out?
I threw up once after a workout, and that's because I mixed glutamine and milk, and it was terrible. And that made me throw up. That was the only time ever.
What made you mix glutamine with milk?
All right, so I'll tell you my rationale. All right, you ready? So I was really young. And glutamine helps you recover, right?
Yeah.
Quote, helps you recover.
Yeah.
And milk, I'm actually using that wrong. Milk helps you grow. So, yeah, I put it in milk.
But did you have to drink them at the same time?
Dude, you have to do it within, 5 minutes of your workout, or else there goes
so you may as well mix them, right? You may as well mix the protein in with the chicken and then put the Mexican spice on top of it.
Yeah. All right, so Tom Merck says, Bev, do you take an intra workout? When should you take one? When would you take one? When should you take one? And he says, also, what's up, your stud muffins? What's up, Tom Merck? So basically, intra workout. Yeah, the only thing we use intra workout is 2 scoops of our New York Muscle Radio branched chain amino acids, basically 10 grams of BCAAs intra workout. That always works good. When I'm really, really bulking and really trying to up the calories, I'll have like some Gatorade powder with that, or some Carbolin, something to that effect in order to get more calories in. The other day, I actually ate in between. So there you go. I ate in between. And we had 2 bagels with cream cheese. So that was my intro workout that day. But again, it's just another way to get calories in. Tom Merck is actually growing. He's bulking right now. So I would recommend definitely an intro workout carb for you right now. Easy way to get some calories in, definitely. So Kalina says, I guess Kalina's, I don't know if she's hitting on someone in this chat or not, but Kalina, hey, Gemini, I know how it works. All right. So, Raj wants to know why my traps will never grow. Trap training. You have to really, in order to get your traps big, you have to really, really focus on heavy shrugs, heavy deadlifts, and heavy rack pulls. Yeah. And especially with the shrugs, focus on squeezing the traps up on top. And again, with traps is one of those muscle groups that responds to just a lot of volume. So you have to do a lot of volume, a lot of weight, and just really pound away at them. And that's the only way they'll grow. But you have to really go heavy. So let's see.
Also, the traps are involved in overhead pushing motions as well. Any upper body pulling, rowing, everything like that. So you want to get strong on all those major upper body lifts. Just because you shrug a lot of weight doesn't necessarily mean your traps are going to grow. Overall, if you're moving heavy weight on bench presses, overhead presses, shrugs, deadlifts, rack pulls, like you said, if the entire upper body is moving a lot of weight, you can bet that the traps are going to grow.
Yeah, your traps are a big stabilizer muscle when you do a lot of other movements too, so you need those. All right, so Mike Brill says, hello, is this thing on? What's up, Mike? It is on. It's working. Question: regular versus trap bar deadlifts, pros and cons for muscle building, assuming you're not a powerlifter. If you're not a powerlifter and have no desire to be a powerlifter, I would just go with the trap bar deadlift. It definitely puts your body in more of a neutral position and will allow you to pound away on the muscles of the deadlift a lot easier. So I would go with that if you're not caring about powerlifting at all. If you just want to look cool, then focus on the deadlift. But the trap bar is definitely way better.
Yeah,
it's more of a natural movement anyway too.
Yeah, plus there's less of a learning curve with it. You know, the conventional deadlift is such a technical movement. I'd say about 90% of the people in the gym don't even do it correctly. You know, and you want to be executing these forms, executing these exercises with correct form, or else you're just risking injury. And you know, deadlift's a very high risk injury exercise if you're not doing it correctly. Trap bar is pretty much, you know, it's very easy to learn. So as long as you're keeping your back straight, you know, you're pretty much doing it correctly. So I use a trap bar deadlift because I'm not a power lifter, so it doesn't really matter for me. And I think the benefits of doing that over a straight bar, you know, make it worth it.
So Tony wants to know, how's the slingshot program working or not working for you? Tony, I will answer that question on a podcast, so you're going to have to, hold off on that. Plus, I'm not done with the full experiment yet to say if it actually worked or not. So far, so good, but I'm doing it a little differently than is recommended, and we'll go over all that when the time comes. But if you really want to know, man, you can send me a text. Tony's, he handles our social media for New York Muscle Radio. This guy's the best. If you guys want anyone to work on your social media, definitely hit him up. He's the man. And Tony's definitely one of it. He's getting ripped, man. We're talking about Tony. This guy's peeled right now.
Well, he's
and he's accidentally been adding. He's actually been having 70 grams of fat instead of 60 for a while now. He's been making that mistake. So
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So he's gonna get in much better shape now that he caught that little mistake. And that those things happen. But you know, it just goes to show you could still make results. He's still getting crazy results despite not having actually dropped the 10 grams of fat. So keep up the good work, Tony. But we got a couple more questions here. So hold on, this is a statement, so I'll play this first. So he says, Anthony, your squat videos lately are awesome. You definitely deserve that Superman shirt. I try, man. I try. Really try. Captain America is my boy, though. I like Superman, but Captain America is my boy. All right, Brian Connolly wants to know, if I can only do 8 pull-ups, should I add weight or keep pushing for more reps to progress? Yeah, man, you always got to push for more reps, I would definitely say, with the pull-ups. Not until you get to at least 10 to 12 body weight where you should start adding the weight. You can kind of go either way with it. But I would focus on getting more reps. If you can only get 8, if you put weight on, you're going to drop all the way down to 4. So I would focus on total volume. Focus on doing 30 pull-ups in a workout, and then build that up to 50 pull-ups in a workout, and then start adding weight. When you can do that comfortably in a couple of sets, then you should be good to add weight.
Yeah, that's an old concept from Arnold. You know, he used to say just do 50 reps, however many sets it takes. You know, and if you're not strong on the pull-ups, it might take you a really long time. When I first started training, I followed that protocol, and it took me maybe like an hour just to do the pull-ups, because I was doing 1 or 2 of them at a time. But that's the best way to do it with pull-ups. Yeah, just stop counting the sets and reps as much if you can't do as many, and then just get the total volume in. And then if you want to add reps, just do it on an additional set. It's a body weight pull-up. It's not really going to be that taxing. You can afford to do more sets of them if you have to.
So Kalina wants to know, I know creatine does not have to be loaded, but should it be cycled? I cycle my creatine. I would usually do 8 weeks on, 2 off. You don't have to go too crazy with cycling creatine, but I would definitely take some time off, a week or 2. Usually I take a week or 2 off all my supplements anyway, except protein and BCAAs, which is basically anything I take anyway. But sometimes I just won't even take the multivitamin. I don't know. It's always good.
I think it's good. There's some supplements that you definitely have to cycle because your body will build a tolerance to it. You'll get a negative, get a negative return from doing it.
Caffeine. That's definitely one of them.
One of them. Creatine is not necessarily one where you'll have a negative impact from not cycling it, but I do believe in it. I do agree with you that you should cycle your supplements just in general because there's no need to take any of these things anyway. Again, they're supplements, so they're just additions. So you're always going to get a benefit from taking them but not abusing them. So if you just keep taking it on a constant basis, you'll get a benefit from just kind of cycling them a little bit. There's no real there's just theory. There's no real evidence to back up that you have to cycle it or not. But the ones that you do have to cycle, definitely do it. Most people don't cycle the ones that they do have to cycle, unfortunately. And caffeine is probably the number 1 out of all of them.
Yeah, definitely. So many people think they need a stronger pre-workout and they need more caffeine, and that's because you built your tolerance up to caffeine. So that's why it's important to take some time off. So if any of you are listening to this right now and you're really, need a lot of caffeine to function, definitely take a week off caffeine. It will be the hardest couple of days at first, but then toward the end of the week, you'll definitely find that you start getting energy. You won't need a pre-workout. This is why I'm so sensitive to caffeine.
Yeah, people think they need more caffeine, but they actually need less. That's the problem. You need to build that tolerance back up.
I hope my wife's listening because she's freaking horrible, man. 6 cups of coffee a day. I mean, ridiculous how much coffee. Then she gets a headache if she doesn't have it. I'm like, just stop drinking coffee. You'll be all right. Stop.
Yeah, well, she's not.
You know what? The husband's always wrong, huh? Happy wife, happy life. So
I don't know.
As soon as you put the ring on, man, you see the doormat on the floor. That's what you become. So
I don't know anything about that, but
don't get married, as the say goes. So Rebecca says, any advice on the psychological element of consistency of nutrition? Yeah, you definitely have to have a fire in the belly. You have to make sure that you really want this, and you have to always tell yourself this is for a reason. This is for a purpose. For me, lately, my nutrition has changed and shifted a little bit. I've been watching my soy intake and watching all that other stuff because my goal right now is to maximize my testosterone, which is basically the course that we did on the New York Muscle Radio. Also, you guys can head on over there and pick that up. But that's my goal now. So my eating changed a little bit in order to accommodate that. And every time I want something that's outside of that, I'm like, well, is this going to be counterproductive to my goal or more productive toward my goal? So that's kind of like the way you got to go about thinking of it. Always, everything in life is a choice, and you just have to always pick the choice that puts you closer toward your goal.
Yeah, and we always say to follow the program, the protocol, the eating schedule that works best for you, because the one that you actually stick to is the one that you're going to get results. So even if you hear, okay, 6 meals a day is more optimal than 3, but you can't stick to 6, you're not going to get the results because you're not going to follow the program. But if you can stick to 3, you're going to stick it out and you'll get the results. So whatever works best for you is what you have to follow. And that's both mentally and physically.
Mm-hmm. So Raj wants to know, how much did you pay to get your testosterone checked? I don't see it being covered by medical coverage unless I have issues with testosterone. Again, this is why the medical industry is just such nonsense. The first thing the doctor always asks you is, what insurance do you take? They never ask you, how you feeling, what's your name. They don't even care. What insurance do you have? You may have to pay out of pocket. You may not. It really depends. I don't know. I can't really answer that question 100%. For you. My insurance covered it. Pete's insurance didn't cover it, actually. So
covered part of it. But I can tell you this, if you don't have insurance and you go to get the test, you better save up a lot of money because that test could be extremely expensive without insurance.
But actually, if you don't live in New York, you can get it tested through a private lab for relatively cheap. Yeah. So I don't know the website off my head, but if you do a quick Google search, you could find the website that you can test check your testosterone at for relatively cheap price if you don't live in New York. If you live in New York, you're fucked.
Yeah, we're always fucked with everything, man.
Yeah, I know. So Mike Brill says, an old personal trainer told me if you have 2 diets and you're bulking, let's say the same calorie surplus on both diets, but 40-30-30, 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat on one, and 10% protein, 45 carb, 45 fat on another, you'll gain more muscle on the higher protein diet. True, or is it just calories in versus calories out? Well, calories in versus calories out will dictate what happens to your body. If you're eating less, you're going to burn body fat. If you're eating more, you're going to gain muscle. It's just that simple. You're going to gain weight. It doesn't necessarily mean muscle. The reason why you want more protein in there is because you want more of that protein to go toward the rebuilding process. So that's why it is important to have more protein. More protein will actually keep you fuller also. So I would recommend having the more protein option. I would never go down as 10%. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so the thing is, people get that term confused, and it is true. For weight loss or weight gain, it's always calories in versus calories out. That dictates weight loss or weight gain, calories in versus calories out, right? But the macronutrient breakdown is going to dictate, okay, if you're gaining weight, is it going to be muscle or is it going to be fat? And the same thing with losing weight. The macronutrient is going to dictate, okay, is that going to be fat loss or is it going to be muscle loss or both? So yes, the calorie is going to dictate which way it's going, weight gain or weight loss, but the macronutrient is going to dictate, okay, if it's muscle or if it's fat or both. So yes, higher protein will build more muscle with the same macros. I mean, same calories, but different macros.
So Kalina says, love you guys and don't want to stop watching, but this old lady is tuning in. Good luck training heavy tomorrow, and I'll be checking in bright and early. Kalina, we'll miss you. You're our favorite client. Shh, don't tell everybody. But Kalina, she works so hard, and she's definitely a great client. And yeah. But again, guys, you don't have to worry about it. If you can't follow this whole thing, it's going to be up on NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/TV. We're going to post all these on there, and this is going to go right up on YouTube after this is up. So head on over there, and you can check it out. So don't worry if you can't stay for the whole thing. We will not take offense. I have no idea. I have no clock in front of me, man. I have no idea how long we've been going with this.
Yeah, somebody please let us know how long in are we right now.
We have to be at least an hour. If my internal clock is right, it has to be on reaching the hour mark here.
Yeah.
It has to have been. I'm waiting for a comment to come in, but I'm not seeing one right now. I don't know if this thing is a little bit behind, but yeah. So this is cool, man. I like this. I think we can definitely roll with this. I wish there was a way we can return the camera now. Kind of pissed that we paid all that money for the camera, huh?
Well, we actually got to get a deal on it, actually.
Yeah, Joe says over an hour. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna end this now. So guys, this was the New York Muscle Radio After Hours show. If you guys like this, you can find New York Muscle Radio, which is our podcast, on any podcast feed that you're on, whether it's iTunes, it's just type in New York Muscle Radio, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeartRadio. We're all over the place. You can even find us on YouTube. So again, Rebecca wants to know, are we all going to the Olympia? I wish, unless we get sponsored by a company to go out there and hang out at their booth. As of right now, we will not be going. And actually, if it's in October, I won't be able to go. Oh, it's September? Oh, so I could go then. You guys should plan these out and announce them on the show so more people show up. Yeah, Mike, this was just total, winging it as we do on New York Muscle Radio, but we will definitely do that. And this is from Laguna Beach. Have a great evening, guys. And that was definitely awesome. So again, guys, head on over to find us on NewYorkMuscleRadio.com. Head on over to NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/getjacked. It's our free 12-week program. It's a free program for you for listening to this, clicking on this. Head on over there. Check that out now. And big guy, it's your turn, buddy.
All right, guys. Pete and Anthony, New York Muscle Radio After Hours, and we're out.
Enjoyed this episode of New York Muscle Radio? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, New York Muscle Radio.
As a thank you to our loyal listeners, we want to offer you a special sale with 30% off the entire store. 30% off for Anthony's 30th birthday. To redeem this discount, all you have to do is in the checkout, type in coupon code DIRTY30. That's right, DIRTY30 for Anthony's 30th birthday. Thank you all again for your continued support. We appreciate it all.